Hi all, Hal here with more Space Engineers. Yay! So we have been doing some welding off camera, getting things caught up, getting some of the stuff in place, and we are in position to keep going with the build. First, we got to get started, so let's go. Happy Friday, everybody. Hopefully you had a fantastic week and having a terrific Friday thus far. So yes, we have been welding, and we have been welding for, well, almost literally days at this point. So if you remember the last time we were together, this was all wireframe. The command seats are still wireframe, and I'm probably going to wait to do anything more with those, because yesterday Keen Software released their update for the 6th anniversary patch, which introduced a whole lot of stuff, including, let me go into the painter here really quick, a bunch of new skins. So there's actually a decorations pack number 2 that has been released, which will give you a couple of things, and then you have the big update. So we now have silver armor, we now have rusty armor, the wood armor we had last time. There's a mossy armor, which we had last time. There's the gold armor if you have the deluxe edition, the glitter armor, and then you have digital ammo, but you have battered armor, and the one that got leaked wasn't supposed to be in this update. It was actually supposed to be the Halloween update at the end of the month. So yeah, so we ended up with all sorts of just really cool stuff. Now, one of the things that they did is they cleaned up the block menu again. So now some of the blocks that you are familiar with are actually available under other blocks. So one of the things that they did is things like the armory. Obviously we had the full-on armory room, the armory locker, and the regular locker. Well, the I guess you call it the toilet block now has an additional block. Let me pull that out here really quick. So if you remember, let's do it this way. So you have the original toilet block. You have the toilet seat. You have the bathroom block, which is the toilet block with the door that doesn't close. And now you have a shower. So for the folks who are into the interior decorating and like to put things in, you no longer need a mod to have a shower in Space Engineers. That's just one of the things that they've updated. There is now also, let's go to the chairs here. So you have the passenger seat that you're familiar with, the original control station, the flight seat. Bring that around. Oh, it didn't put it on. Oh, you cheat. You cheat, I say. Might be because I am on a large grid. So there is now a small grid open cockpit seat, which I am going to be replacing on some of my builds. Let's see. Do you show up now? Control seats, passenger seat. Are you really not? Oh, you are shady. Alright. So, let me see if I can get this thing to... Nope. Alright. So we're just going to do it this way. When it doesn't want to cooperate, we'll make it cooperate. Okay. So, let's turn a light on. Actually, that is not doing a whole lot for us here. Hoping to be able to do this somewhere where you can actually see it. Alright, so basically what this thing is is it's the open flight seat, but they made a version of it for small grids, and that's actually a really interesting texture. The design on it is really, really well done. One of the things that I like about it is they went with more of a speeder bike mechanic, and there are no connections on this thing, so it can't be piped in. But overall, the design aesthetic on this thing is bloody awesome. So well done, Keen. Thank you for that. For those who don't know, I had actually been joking with them when they had announced they had some new upgrades coming in. And this is one of the things that I specifically asked if it was going to be in there, and they were very, very cagey on their response to me because I think they didn't want to spoil it yet. So, oh, now we actually do have a bunch of other stuff. Let me go here first. So there are now medical stations. There are transparent LCDs. There are the new catwalks. These are great at catwalks instead of the traditional walkway catwalks that they've had previously. We now have modular windows, so you have two end caps and then a central piece. The new shower we talked about. There is lab equipment, which is a... actually, here, we'll grab this and show you this one really quick. This is large grid. So it is a research station. It doesn't have any effect in game currently that I'm aware of. It might work as a med bay. Actually, no, it won't work as a med bay because there's no medical components. So it is just a decoration piece still, which is fine. But there is a new dispenser, and then there are freight blocks, and we'll get into the rest of the stuff as well. So there are like little set pieces of freight now. So there's the first block, there's just a single chest, there's a long chest, and then there's a stacked chest. Now, somebody said you can use these for storage. I haven't built one yet, and I will actually be building them, but not today. So, and the one thing, actually there's two things that you should know. There's now a rotating light. This thing is rather awesome, because it is, as the package says, it is a rotating lamp. So you no longer have to build rotating lamps. So what you can do is if you want, like if you're doing emergency vehicles or construction vehicles, or you just need something that you want to call attention to, or you're building a disco, there's now a lamp in the game that you can use for this. Surprisingly, I have a feeling that is going to be a very useful device by the time we're done. Let's see, transparent LCD. This thing is awesome. So if you've ever seen the mod, I've actually used the transparent LCD mod previously. This little beast, okay, first, it's expensive to build, right? There's actually a lot of mass to it. There's more mass to it than a normal 1x1 window. But it's available for small grids. So you can use this to build windows on small grid ships. It's expensive for what it is, but you can do it. Now the other thing is that because it is technically an LCD, you can put images on it, or you could have, like the same displays that you use for any other type of LCD, and because it is a transparent LCD, you'll see the text through it. You'll see through the text that was on the screen. I haven't built this yet because I haven't had a chance. But it is small grid compatible. So I was in the live stream listening to listening to Zoc today, and he was saying that they don't have any confirmation on building or on introducing actual windows for small grid ships at this time. It's one of the things that they are aware of people asking for, and I'm wondering if they're going to use this as an evaluation piece. So if they see a lot of people using these, is it something that they're going to be interested in putting in, you know, or is it they're more likely to put in? Now, the big thing with them is that these things have a PCU count of 50, which is ridiculously high, because I don't think the regular LCDs have, well, I guess they are all PCU 50s. Okay. And for those who don't know, PCU is the way that Space Engineers gets around having block limits, or it's one of the ways that they go about limiting to help keep the sim speed up. If you go over a certain number of PCUs, you're pretty much screwed. Info. Actually, yeah, it should be under info. Oh, they changed. Oh, there it is. Okay, so this tells you, you know, basically what do you have. Here's how many PCU you have, and who the author of it is. And so they have made a lot of changes to the UI. Most of it's subtle stuff. It's not too bad, but, you know, there are things that you need to be aware of. Now, the vending machine, this dispenser, actually dispenses 2 types of drinks. And do we have... Yeah, there it is. So it dispenses Clang Cola, which you want to be careful when you choose this. Don't stand directly in front of the vending machine, because it launches it out at 100 meters per second. No joke. It actually launches this thing. If you get a chance, go watch the live stream over on the official Space Engineers channel, and somebody built a dispenser and they put a ramp on it, and they actually have they made like a catching game out of it, where the cola hits this like half ramp and launches it up over, I don't know, something like 200 meters or something like that. It's rather crazy. And then the other thing that they have introduced is there is now a coffee drink, Cosmic Coffee. So what these are is these are just like any other consumable. The coffee consumable, I believe, gives you a little bit of energy and health. Low. And the Clang Cola gives you health. I don't think it gives you energy. They might. I don't remember. But that's pretty much the newer stuff. I mean, there's a bunch of little detail things that are in here. Like I said, they've cleaned up some of the block menus, and what they've said is that, because one of the things people always ask is the Xbox version. So these changes are in support of a console version of Space Engineers, because of the way that they have, there's much more limited UI available, because you're using a controller, you've only got so many different button combinations to do things. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to get the UI down to the point where you can have one nested block that you can scroll through when you're placing things. So you're going to see a lot of blocks that were kind of scattered before slowly being consolidated in. So the whole UI is slowly getting updated. But that is just something to keep your eyes out for. No word yet on the official version of any of the console versions, or release of any of the console versions. The only other big change in this is that ladders now are small grid as well. And for the large grid blocks, let me go ahead and grab one of these. All right, so for the large grid blocks, you have your, the regular ladder. Everyone's used to this thing, right? Well, there are now, the stairs are counted in the ladder blocks, but there is now a graded stair. So for those of us who like to use the old window, the old slat windows for stairs, we can actually replace them. We don't have to use mods anymore to have graded stairs. And as an added bonus, there's a half stairs block, and it is wide enough for the Space Engineer character model to get up and down there without colliding on the rails. So if you need to do a combo for some reason, like let's say this was a doorway here, and we didn't want to block the door, And you don't want to have, let's say this is a whole thing is, actually, I got a better place to do this. Let's do this down here. So, like, if we had, for some reason, we were trying to get upstairs here, or we wanted to have a area, we could actually put this block in and be able to walk past it or go up the stairs if we needed to. So I was watching some of the demonstrations for this, and the block looks really good. I mean, you can even see it in the preview. Now, all of these blocks are colorable and paintable, so do keep that in mind as well. And one of the new things that was changed on the paint menu is you can now use reskin to repaint. So what this means is that you can actually have it like where when you place a new block down, or use a block to change coloring, you can say, I don't want to change the coloring, I just want to, you know, skin it. But yeah, so it's interesting updates so far. Game also seems like they did clean up some of the back end of it, because we've been seeing a lot better performance out of the game. It's been a lot more stable. I mean, it's been a crazy performance increase, at least on my side. So I don't know if that's entirely intentional or not. I'm assuming that is, because they did say they were fixing a lot of like back-end database and just source code problems that they had run into, or things that they knew were lingering problems in the code base. So you may actually see some small performance increase. Again, mileage may vary. Take that with a grain of salt. Not making any promises, just saying it seems to flow a little bit better for me. But that might just be me. All right, so I think that's everything. Yeah, they updated the laser antenna model, I believe. I believe that's the one they did, right? Let's tip you down. Yeah, it looks like they did update the block a little bit. And we want character tools. Okay, so all of that stuff dealt with. Yeah, so as you can see, the flight deck, well, I'm sorry, the combat bridge is combat bridgey. It's actually set up and working. Because we are tied into the base, these doors are set up as an airlock. Once we get a little further into the build, we're going to have our own computer lab and everything in here, so we'll be able to have all of our own programmable blocks. For those who were wondering what I was talking about with the med bay, this is what we were talking about. We basically end up with, you know, we'll have 4 of these things in total. There's 2 here, there's going to be 2 port side, or starboard side as well. Those come through, you have the way out, which takes you forward, takes you down midship, out to the forward area. Now, what I'm thinking is that we're going to, I'm trying to decide, do I want to put barracks on the side of the ship? Like, because if I do that, I'm going to have probably one here-ish. Like, that would be probably the entrance to it. And then we'll end up with, you know, the hallway there. So we'll have 1 here, 2 here, and then 3 here. The midship area, or the actual center area here, I'm thinking will turn into at least 1 hangar, if not 2. Because if I do... Okay, so I'm going to use... Here, we're going to use these for placeholders. So if we do doors... Oh, are you kidding me? Really? I had 1 steel plate on me? Let's grab 100 plates. Yes, I've been mining and manufacturing stuff for a while. So if we do this, right? So if we do a row like that, we go door, door, door. So we could end up with something along these lines. So you'd end up with a hangar space. Actually, I would do that. And we're going to do the same over here. Mainly what we're doing is we're setting it up so that we could have walls to make this entire area airtight. There you go. Then you would end up with probably something along the lines of put a door there. Sure, why not? So you end up with a space about that big. Not too bad. And actually, you end up with one smaller because we want to be able to walk around in here a little bit. So we're going to end up with this. I'm not going to grinding those out right now, but we're, you know, just get an idea of how much space we end up with in here. So that gives us a 3x4. So we could actually get some of our small stuff in there. I mean, depending on how we did it, we could even, let me see here. If we wanted to bring this ship with us, or something similar to this ship. Right. So we're going to do that, do that. Swing this piece around. Fuel. Yeah. So if we want it to have something like this come with us, right?
No fuel.
Would that clear? Almost. That would almost clear. So we would have to go, because of the length of the doors, it would have to be sideways. Will you fit this way? Ah! Alright, so that will, yeah, so that'll fit like so. We'd have to cut that. Which, I mean, we could... Alright, come here you go. I'm gonna have you... Really? Are my gear actually turned off? There we go. Alright, so we can turn that off. And that's honestly all that matters. Okay. We'll move that later. I'm not going to worry too much about it. So what I'm thinking here is, because we're going to have the barracks, if we do put barracks over here, what we can do is have bring you out of there for right now. Let's take you out. If we go here, so let's just use that as an example, and we make this a doorway here, right? So we'll have the two doors, door 1, door 2, there will be some blocks, some space, locker, and bed. And so this is basically how much room we're going to dedicate to the actual bedrooms here. Just to give you an idea of what we're looking at space-wise. And then above us, like directly above us, will be the O2 area, like a air vent. So there will be a toilet and a shower. There will be the lockers here, and then there will be 2 beds. Right, and then you'll have 6 of these rooms on the ship. So I'm thinking if we do 1, 2. Does that actually work? That actually works exactly the way I need it to work. That is rather awesome. Alright, so then you'll be like so. Alright. And again, I'm going to come through, and the outer wall will be heavy armor blocks. Internally, I think we're going to go with interior blocks. And then the entire outer shell of the ship will be heavy armor blocks. Basically, the areas that we really need secured, like the battle bridge, that is obviously all heavy armor blocks enclosed. I went ahead back here on the medical area. I've swapped out the general blocks for light armor, but I did leave the blocks immediately around the actual med stations as heavy armor, because I want to make sure that if the ship takes damage, the vital pieces are as protected as possible. So having 4 of these things means you're more likely to have someplace to respawn in the case something goes horribly, horribly wrong. But it also means that, you know, it's going to be a lot more massive. So, but not bad, not bad. All right, so we'll have 1 barracks here. These are, like I said, this will be, each of these rooms will be airlocked. So there will be 2 doors here. You'll have, basically, it's enough room for the characters to walk around in and get very basic things done. Turn off. So you end up here. Yeah, I think this will work. And then if we continue that motif, it's going to be wall, wall. That will be, damn it. So end up with door, door. And that's actually going to be, I think that's going to be good, because I think it, are we really out of blocks again? Wow. I didn't think I went through that many. Alright. Let's grab a few more. Alright, so one thing to be aware of, I found this out by messing around with it. I don't know if this is fixed yet or not. So normally when you go into inventory, or previously when you went into the blocks inventory, so you have your construction connector here. If I do a search for, say, plates, right, we can take 100 plates out. Now if I put 100 plates back, oh, they did fix it. Okay. Whew. Earlier when the patch first went live, what it was doing is it was ignoring where you were actually looking. And what it would do would drop them into whatever the inventory was, or the first inventory on your search list. So yeah, I'm glad to see that got fixed. Assembler. Am I out of cobalt again? I am out of cobalt. Okay, good to know. Means more mining later. All right. So that's gonna add quite a bit of width to the ship. And I am not disliking it, so I think we're gonna run with that. Now, what I was saying was, and the reason we even started on this is that right now we have a hallway that goes pretty much all the way down, straight through the ship, and we're talking about having a hangar here. So I'm wondering if let's look at the new windows for a second. Okay, so if we do... That's the exterior window, so we could actually... No, that's way too tight. Way too close. It would have to be... Like if we wanted to do this... Which, I mean... Actually, no, that wouldn't be a bad idea, because we could... I know I'm talking to myself here for a second. Number 9. Because we would be doing this as the hangar space. So you would need the windows facing this way. And that gives you half a block here. Oh. And that addresses the problem that we were talking about of the blocks. Whoopsie. Hello. When we take this out, and suddenly we have a whole lot more hangar space. I think I like this. And I basically do the same thing that we did there. I mean, if we really wanted to, we could use the window end caps. So you'd end up with So you end up with the actual port style windows. The only reason I'm thinking I'm not going to do this is twofold. One, when the window is done, and you can't really see it too well here. There is a ring around the window that actually projects out from there a little bit. It's not much, but it is, depending on what you're looking for, it may be more annoying. Oh, hello. Oh, different window style. Hold on. Window wall. Window wall left. Window wall right. Are you upside down? No. Oh, one of you is upside down, that's why. Okay, so that is yes, that is right side up. According to the image, that's the right side up, and you are right side up. Okay. I'll play around with those once I have some blocks to weld up, but it gives you the idea what we're talking about. So what that will do is give us a half block in here that we'll be able to move around in. Be able to... probably going to actually leave that open. And what we'll do is we'll have a wall here that the windows tie into. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we'll do that, because if we do that 2, 3, 4, means the door will go there. And that'll be the window on this side. Okay. That
Energy low.
actually works. Okay, so now we have that figured out. These will be hangar doors. We'll go ahead and take these out right now. Let's grab you really quick. There we go. Okay. That was a quick draft. Just a very quick hanger assembler. Okay. Now, since we have that, we're going to go ahead. That's going to be the third room, which means you are going to go here. Like I said, I will come back and we'll fill in all of this stuff with the actual parts. But I do want to get as much of this figured out as possible. So that gives us 3 staterooms, double berthed each. We'll have another 3 on the other side. And I want to make sure you guys, yes, you are going to be offside from each other. That's good, because my main concern is that I don't want this whole thing being able to be pressurized or depressurized. Like I don't want the system, the automatic doors or the easy door script to register this door and the door that's going to be over here as part of a single airlock. So when you go through this door, basically it'll turn off this door, auto close this one, and then open this one. And I don't want it doing that. So the way it'll be set up is, I think we're going to set this one to manual no matter what. Because we don't want them opening that door. I mean, I guess I could offset it and do a door here and here with an air vent in here. And basically do a quick... Yeah, I might do that, actually. Because I could... no. Damn it. Maybe if I did do the door here. No, it'd have to be here. Door would have to be there. Because what I want to do is have a door that's facing here, have a door that's facing here, and then have an air vent in here so that you'll be able to get in and out of here without depressurizing the whole ship. So I'm thinking what we'll do is we'll have this one be manual. Actually, no, all 3 of them will have to be manual. That's fine. It's fine. We'll figure it out. And that brings us to the forward section. Now, we haven't gotten to the point where we're talking about weapon systems yet. We really are still just figuring out our door plan, our floor plan. Our door plan. Oh,
Energy.
Ah, crap. Oh, all right. So we get some power back here. That should now be big enough for our ship to get in and out. And what I'll probably do is I'll probably change the ship out a little bit. I'm thinking, because this is going to be a combat vessel, like the ship we're building is combat focused. So we're going to need a way either to have a small combat craft or a quick scout. And I'm not sure which way I want to go with it yet. So there are ships available in the economy system that fit both roles, so we may end up buying something to take with us, but I want to make sure that we do have enough of a hangar here that we'll be able to take this ship with us if we choose to. So that way we actually have something that we can use. And we will have... see, I'm going to have to... Because no matter what I do, I'm going to have to change the ship anyway. Because all of our connectors are on the bottom. And I want a ship that will dock straight in. I don't want to have to do any fiddling about. So I guess if we rotate it, the solar collectors, the solar panels, 90 degrees, I could put a connector here, actually put an extension ring on it and then put the connector on it. And then rotate these panels. Sure, what, five wide? 2, 3, 4, 5. It should be what, 7? 2, 3, 2, 3, 4. So yeah, so it's 5 by 7. So that is 11. Yeah, because we could rotate these 90 degrees and basically have them sit a little further back, which wouldn't be a bad thing. Yeah, we'll figure it out. All right. Okay, so that gives us 3 of the 6 of the birthing areas, whatever you want to call it, rooms. They're called rooms, Hal. Yeah, I think that might be it for us for today. Because basically I need to go through... This outer row is going to be replaced with the heavy armor. And I'm thinking what I may do is I don't know, do I want to do this? One of the things I was thinking about doing is something like this, where we end up adding a little bit of space to it. Because it kind of defeats the purpose of having the windows here on the bunk rooms. I don't know. Maybe what I'll do is I'll add... Well, actually, that wouldn't be a bad idea. Because we're going to need to add a couple of blocks out when we get a little further along. Because what we're going to end up with is we're going to have some decoys built into the ship. And what I want to do is have a auto repair system on the ship as well. So what we're going to need is we're going to need enough room to have a conveyor line feed into here, which won't actually be difficult because of the way that the rooms are set up. Because we'll basically have a line of conveyor blocks. We'll have conveyors on top of each of these rooms where the air vents go. Because what we're going to end up with is effectively that with an air vent here and then a conveyor block on top of that. Just like we did in the med bay. Or not the med bay, but in the hallway for the command section. So we'll have a conveyor block here. Second one, third one, there'll be conveyor tubes. And we'll be able to feed from there down here. Something like that. And we'll have another one here and another one there. And we'll be able to do, say, decoy block here, here. Yes, I'm not above using my crewman as a so we do something like that, and then there will be armor blocks out here. This will all be heavy armor, but this will basically be the outer skin area. And if this gets damaged, as long as the welder survives, everything else should be okay. Now we are going to have, this is 1, 2, so here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if we do from here, 1, 2, 3. That should give us enough room, because we're going to do the same over here. And again, these are all, almost all of this is going to come out, and I'm going to replace it. Yeah, that should give us, that'll give us enough depth to build in a little bit of armor. And so if we go there, we're talking about having a grav launcher system for decoys. So that'll go here. Merge block, whatever, heavy armor. And we're talking about having a door. So the door would be mounted there. Oh, wait, they changed the lineup. Do we have half blocks? Thank you. So we end up with basically a gate there. That is really okay. That's kind of an annoyance, but anyway. So you end up with something like that, and we'll go into a little bit more detail what I'm talking about with these decoy launchers, because these are going to be a little bit different than what you've seen me do in the past. Not much different, but a little bit different. We just have to figure out what the spacing on them is going to look like and where the actual positioning is going to be. So I want to make sure that I have enough room for it, and it looks like we will, because I'm going to end up with, effectively what I'm going to end up with is double launchers on each corner. So we'll have one that will launch ventricle, one that will launch dorsally in each corner. So we'll have one, that's basically one there, one down, one up, one down over here. And we're going to repeat that process back here in the aft portion. And then after that is figured out, we're going to have to figure out what type of propulsion system are we using on this. I'm kind of wanting to make this a true hybrid vehicle, something that we could take into an atmosphere if we had to, and would be able to, if not land safely, not completely kill us in the splash. So yeah, we're definitely gonna have to figure that out. All right, but I think that is going to do it for us for today. I want to thank you all for stopping in. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, haven't done so already, or just want to do something fun and exciting for me today, make sure you hit that subscribe. And if you really did enjoy it and want to see more, be sure to ring the bell to find out when the new content comes out. We do the single player Space Engineers currently, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We have the multiplayer with a Dredden on Saturday or Sunday, depending on when we get our videos edited and get all of that together for you. And then I've got a couple of things that I'm hoping to do in the some other time during the week. For those who don't know, I'm actually in school for my MBA right now. And so I try to squeeze in as much stuff in between as I can. But we'll see what we can do with it. All right. Anyway, on that note, I'm going to get out of here. Thank you all for stopping in, and we'll see you back here next time for more Space Engineers. As always, folks, take care and be safe out there, everybody. Oh, now to clean all of this up and get the actual blocks in place. It's going to be one of those days.